Live for Empire State of Baseball, episode number 112. It's Monday, December 30th, 2024, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time, if you're on that side of the country. Instagram, X, YouTube, and as always, powered by StreamYard. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another edition of Empire State of Baseball. A belated Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa. We're still in the middle of Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah. Happy any holiday that you've been celebrating this past month. Hopefully it's been a happy and healthy one. And you got to spend all the time in the world with your loved ones over the past few weeks. And soon, a very happy new year. Tom, what's with the sunglasses, man? It's December 30th. What are we doing?
Lace it, man.
Yeah, listen, I'm just tired of the bullshit and basically in the chat and in this podcast, and I can't stand looking at it directly anymore. So I need this to protect my vision, because frankly, it's been hurting looking at especially someone like Junior Joe Pugliese's face every Monday. Oh all year. So we're protecting the eyes here. Okay?
Tom's still salty about Juan Soto. I mean, I know Christmas.
I don't even recognize that name. I don't even know who that is.
You're buying the $65 Juan Soto jerseys from the Yankees team shop, hoping Dominguez takes the number.
I don't recognize that player. I recognize guys who are on the Yankees, guys who want to be on the Yankees, guys like Max Fried, Paul Goldschmidt. Winners, that's who I recognize. So
it's a Harrison Bader jersey, by the way, Joe, that you're confused with clearly. Corey Favs, how about you, man? How you doing?
Yeah, listen, guys, I'm pumped. Love this time of year. It's unfortunate that all the time off is coming to an end with New Year's itself being Wednesday, and then it's a cruel reality back to work. But we're about to enter the second half of the offseason, so things are about to get really interesting. It's been a pretty active December, a lot of big signings for both of our teams. And there's still more moves to be made. So a lot of big free agents still left there. We'll see what happens with Sasaki. Alonso's still out there as a free agent. Bregman's still out there as a free agent. I won't be shocked if we see a couple of big trades as we approach the second half of the offseason. So January is going to be a very busy month, both for work and baseball.
Oh, yeah. No kidding. Joe, how about you, sir? How you doing, man?
We're good. We're just sitting here waiting for a particular date in a couple months. So I'm busy painting, prepping, moving furniture, ordering furniture, and it's going to be a different Junior Pugs is going to get another junior soon. So we're
there we go. Love to hear it. 2025 is going to be a great year for Blessing, especially for Thomas and Joe. Corey Favs got a wedding coming up. So a big year for the fellas here at Empire State of Baseball. But before we kick off the year of 2025, we're going to end the year of 2024 with what we're calling our year-end spectacular. And the offseason series has been, I would say, traditional in the sense of a lot of the one-off episodes that we do have. We had our off-season agenda about a month ago. We had our off-season prediction episode a few weeks back. In a few weeks' time, we have our Hall of Fame episode to come up as well. So a lot of episodes that we've repeated throughout the years. But tonight's episode is truly going to be a special one. And there's going to be two first on tonight's episode number 112. And on tonight's rundown, we're going to start things off with our first ever Big Apple debate. And with the help of a few of the best content creators between the New York Yankees and New York Mets communities, we're going to come together for a 4-on-4 debate between our Mets content creators and our Yankees content creators, and I will be playing the part of presenter. We're going to introduce those members of this esteemed panel in just a few short moments, and then following our Big Apple debate, we're going to have a nice fun game, and this is going to explain why there are 8 gifts right now to my left here. These gifts are going to be part of a brand new segment and something you've probably never seen before done in terms of a baseball show before. We're going to play a classic game of White Elephant that we're calling Empire Elephant. And we're going to do this with our entire panel. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to involve the remaining free agents in baseball. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a fun one later on tonight. But it is time that we begin our Big Apple debate. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring up our esteemed panel individually, and we're going to kick things off with a very familiar face, or rather say voice, of Empire State of Baseball. You've seen her before. She actually subbed in for one of the fellas on a previous episode, but she is the host of ESB Extra Innings and also a co-host of the Upper Deck over at Pinstripe Chronicles. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the show our very own Ciarra Potete. Ciarra, how you doing? Nice shades.
Thanks. Hey guys, just excited to be here.
Looks like I'm starting a trend here.
I guess the shade memo only went out to the Yankees side of the the party.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we gotta get rid of the riffraff somehow. So.
Well, Ciarra, welcome back to the show, and once again, another sorry for your loss of Gleyber Torres signing 1-year deal with the Detroit Tigers. Quick thoughts on the Gleyber Torres signing before we move on to our next guest.
That's the real reason I'm wearing shades right now, is because if I talk about it anymore, I will cry. The Yankees disappointed me, not because I didn't bring him back, but because of the lack of conversation with him post-World Series after the way he performed in the second half of the season and in the playoffs. It just felt kind of like there were some things that could have been said, and it could have been a little bit better of a goodbye. And then Gleyber put that really heartfelt goodbye to us on his Instagram. So I'm hurt.
Yeah. Well, Gleyber Torres has been in the organization since 2016, so of course it's definitely going to be missed. But with the way and Joe sketched this out, with the way everything went down with the qualifying offer, you had to think that Gleyber wasn't making a return. So the Yankees still haven't figured out officially what's going to happen at the second base position, whether it's going to be Jazz Chisholm or somebody else. But we will find out hopefully within the next few weeks. All right, so our next member of our panel, we'll flip over to the Mets side. We got to fill up the board on each side here. Another returning face here to Empire State of Baseball. He made his debut earlier in the summer as a creator spotlight guest, and he's one of our favorite content creators around. The founder and host of Shea and Sons podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, my guy, Mr. Keef. Keef,
hello, Kelly Gente. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I got the memo. Queens got the memo.
Memo wasn't for you, Keef.
It was a Soto memo, I think, not a Gleyber memo, So I didn't want to show my eyes of joy, So I want to be respectful for some of the folks. But shout out to my Queens people. How my orange and blue people doing today?
Doing good, man. Welcome to have you back. Welcome to have you.
I appreciate you, gentlemen. Thank you. Hi, guys. Hi, over there.
Keith, if it was up to you, you can only take one player on the Mets: Pete Alonso or Alex Bregman.
Bregman. Not even a
Quick
question.
reason why?
Wow.
I hope Tank heard that.
Loyalty.
Bregman's a better all-around player.
Okay. All right. So Alex Bregman fan and Keith. We'll see what the Mets end up doing on the corners, but we got to flip back to our Yankee side, and we're gonna get some debuts here on ESB, which is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to start off with a guy who I've met early in the year through the Yankees community, part of one of the best channels here on YouTube and streaming to Twitter, X, Instagram, and that is over at NYYUnderground, NYYU. Met this individual along with the NYYU family over at the stadium on September 14th, part of their NYYU Day. They have another one coming up for opening week in 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of Bronx or Nothing, Mr. Kevin Cruz is in the building.
Yo, okay. How you guys doing tonight? What's going on? I put my hat back like Rich. I'm doing a little Rich, okay? So I didn't get the sunglasses memo, so I got the hat backwards. So that's what I'm doing for now. What's up, everybody? How we doing? Shut up with the thumbs down. That's what Lindor does to your fans. You don't do that anymore.
Kev, we
Welcome
thought you
to
were
the show,
somewhere
Kev.
tropical this past weekend. That turned out to be false, unfortunately. But Kev, you're looking ahead of this offseason. I asked Keith about Bregman or Alonso. Is there an offensive player that you want to see the Yankees target with the remainder of the offseason left?
That comes to mind right now, the guys that are free agent, no. There is nobody. If there's a wish list that you're asking for me, then it would be Quan. That would be my wish.
Oh, okay.
The
Got a
Quan.
Stephen Kwan guy.
Yes.
So random.
Interesting.
Yes, it's
Very
random.
interesting.
We need a leadoff hitter that can hit the ball, not just take walks.
But I would assume then Dominguez would be out of that mix if you were to pull in Stephen Kwan, huh?
Yes, Dominguez would be out of the mix. Surprise. That's the only guy. That's the only guys I'll take the Mingus out for.
That's weird hearing you say that.
I'm surprising people today, right?
This is shocking. I mean,
we could clear the air and let Kev and Ciarra go at it. I mean, we
Glaber, Glaber's not here no more, so it doesn't matter.
Wow. Yeah.
Actually, she knows I'm one of the defenders of Glaber, so she can't go.
I mean, I don't know, man. New year, new Kev. Who the hell knows? But let's turn it over to our final member of the Mets panel. Again, making his debut here at Empire State of Baseball. He is the host founder of Top Bunk Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this is David over at Top Bunk Sports.
What up?
What's going on, my man?
I know. Listen, I don't have the sunglasses.
Oh, okay.
I had
the backward hat though.
I had to follow some type of wave. I gotta go. What's going on? Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
David filling in for an original member. Shout out to the Pope. Pope couldn't attend tonight, so David stepping in for Pope. Really do appreciate it. Dave, tell us more about Top Bunk Sports. Recent follow of you guys and subscribe. I saw you guys hosted. I believe it was the 7 Express podcast recently, the 7 Line Express podcast on the channel. But what else do you guys do over at Top Bunk Sports?
Well, Top Bunk Sports is basically just a brand from I'm trying to turn it into something called Top Bunk Studios, where I'm trying to get more other brands to kind of join into one production, which is why I was presented with the idea from Chris Torres and AP from Queens Baseball. Shout out to those brothers. They wanted me to help them kind of with a Mets podcast for themselves. They're always joining Mets Queens Baseball spaces, and they wanted to kind of give themselves a platform to extend the conversation in a podcast way. And they came to me with the idea, and I was like, of course. And I'm very close with those guys as well. So I was like, I think it'd be a perfect idea. So, I'm just trying to expand the brand within Top Bunk Sports, within myself and the 7 Express podcast, and just kind of grow those two brands and turn it into a production where, you can have more outlets. There's obviously Shea and Sons, there's Mets Weekly, there's so much Mets content, and we just want to keep building on more Mets content and keep adding to the fun. So yeah, it's fun, man, and we just want to keep building, man, because there are a lot of Mets content creators out there that don't know what they're talking about, and they're not giving everybody the platform.
I see a bunch of them right here.
We trying to do something different out here, man. We're trying to do something different out here.
No, that's good, man. That's good. No, great to hear. Again, recent follow and subscribe. So shout out to David and the folks over at Top Bunk Sports, and I always communicate to everybody, involved in the Yankees Twitter. I think there's no growth unless you're doing it together. So your message that you preach out there, I'm all for that. So appreciate you stopping in. Our final member of the Yankees panel and our overall panel tonight, again, a debut here in Empire State of Baseball, but you've seen him in the chats before, ladies and gentlemen. He is one of the 2 hosts of YankeesPod, and if Jimmy Randazzo's not doing it, well, my guy Boogie is going to be in that chair as well. Boogie, the host of YankeesPod. What's going on, Boog?
I'm glad to be here. It's been a fun year for 2024. I got to meet all of you guys. Actually, I'm gonna take the sunglasses for Swift and Philly Bag of Donuts, who are probably tuned in. But yeah, no, it's been a great year. I met obviously Rich. I think you were Ciarra, probably the first 2 I met through just joining spaces. And then came along and met Kev this spring. Got to meet him out at the stadium. That was a lot of fun. And then then through that I tuned into your guys' ESB show. Came across Corey and Joe and Tom, and now to meet Keef later this summer, earlier. Yeah, I guess later in the summer, and then now meeting David here. It's been looking forward to it. Actually, I'm glad glad I got the call. You need that veteran on your team to step up when you're in a crunch, Rich. So thank you for giving me the last minute call. And sorry, Chris couldn't be here. And we all like Chris. He's a little on the short stature, but Chris has a big heart. But I'm actually looking forward to it. Kev and Ciarra and Rich, we kind of go back and forth all year on different Yankee philosophies. Actually having Kev and Ciarra on my team. I'm just glad Tom ain't going to say kick rocks today to me. Hopefully he doesn't.
Don't mess up.
Okay.
Boogie might be
nice
one of the reasons
early.
for for Tom's heel arc now here on Empire State of Baseball. Shout out to Bunk and everybody that pissed Tom off over the past few weeks. And shout out to our chat. Great attendance here tonight. Joey Bag of Donuts getting the Jacob Petruzzi Award. Everyone like and share. Here's to a great show, boys. Suck it, Jacob. Jacob's usually the first one in here. Shout out to Hitman. We got Jay in the building. We got Big Slick. What's going on, Big Slick? Chisholm is daddy is here. Jacob Petruzzi's here, of course. Username copy. Don't know who the hell that is, but shout out to you, Tank Mez. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of people. Kristen, Brickmasters, a bunch of Yankees pod representation, a bunch of Queens baseball representation. We have 121 people in this damn building right now, and we haven't even started our first bit, which is the Big Apple debate. So what we're doing here, we're drawing sides. As you guys clearly see, we have our team blue and orange, and we have our team navy blue and white. We're going to be addressing some of the more controversial topics in baseball, not just New York baseball, and I'll be holding it down as our I think it was Chris Wallace, our resident Chris Wallace, the debate moderator over here. So I'm just going to be throwing out the questions, and we'll get to the debate. So our first topic of our debate here is, should PED users be allowed into Cooperstown? And taking on the debate on the Yankee side, we got Kevin. So Kevin's going to step in here and take the debate on the Mets side. Is Mr. Joe Pugliese. So I will give it to. So I will have the Yankee side start off the debate. We'll go back and forth in that way. So Kev, take the floor. Should PED users be allowed into Cooperstown?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, we talk about this a lot back and forth, where there was a time in baseball where everybody was turning a blind eye to it. There were things being used that wasn't banned. There was no rigorous testing, and the owners pocketed all the money when the major leagues took that turn. Michael Jordan was taking everybody's candy in the NBA, and then here came Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, and the 60 home run chase and all that stuff. We all remember those were the best moments of our childhood, if I can remember. Those were insane times watching a Marvel character. Guys hit nukes 500 feet. I'm sorry. It was a fun time in baseball. Everybody was worded up. I don't want to hear it. Pitchers, relief pitchers, batters, even the coaches were worded up. So, I mean, my point is always, if you're going to keep the memorabilia and the stats in the Hall of Fame, then you have to put them, you have to accept the players as well. That's my stand. Yep.
Yeah, there's two ways I look at it, and two different sections of steroid users. There's users who were pre-test and error, where baseball admitted it was the Wild West. And then there are users who are post-test and error, which is 2005 and later. They started testing in 2003, it wasn't effective, and it was really 2005. If you have a suspension on your resume as a PED user, I do not think you should. I think it is justified that you are not in the Hall of Fame. Manny Ramirez, Alex Rodriguez, Rafael Palmeiro, Ryan Braun. The one that will be down the future is Robinson Cano and Fernando Tatis. You willingly broke the rules in the test and error and tried to gain a competitive advantage when there is implementation in place to prevent that. So from that crime, to me, is worse than a crime where baseball didn't have enough foresight to test themselves. So for me, that distinction is that 2005 test and error. Once you start testing and once guys get suspended for usage of it, I think that you should not be allowed into, not be allowed into Cooperstown. I think the court of public opinion should be able to keep you out, and we can't yell about it because you willingly and knowingly broke the rules when there was testing in place.
I mean, I can agree with that to an extent, because my thing is that also is once the testing started, we know how rigorous the testing is now. Guys get tested 3-4 times a year. Some guys, for example, you can make the argument, like I can make the argument for Tatis. He was done in the offseason and he was hurt. So it's like if he ends up having a great career after that and he never fumbles through that again, you can have those conversations down the road. I don't want to put a hard stop to it because at the end of the day, you're kind of doing, if you're going to let these guys in, you got to let all of them. I agree that there has to be a line in the sand. But I think you can make the argument for the guys after, because you are technically getting suspended for 80, 100 games. That is taking a hit in your production of your overall career. So that does that. There's players where I'm sorry. You ask anybody, guys that play the right way, Chipper Jones. You ask Derek Jeter. You ask other guys, who's the best player you've ever seen? Almost all of them say Barry Bonds. It is a travesty and a crime that guy's not in the Hall of Fame. If you were just to take his Pittsburgh numbers, you got to put him in the Hall of Fame. So I don't know what in this conversation, the all high and mighty of the voters that send empty ballots now, which to me is a slap in the face to players and these guys that want to hold this holy grail. But at the end of the day, you walk into Cooperstown and you see Barry Bonds' record. You see the McGwire a home run bat when he broke his record. You see Sammy Sosa's jersey there as well. So you have the records, but then you don't want to let the player in. It's kind of like it doesn't make any sense. Plus, like I said before, you let the managers go ahead and pocket. I mean, not the managers, the owners pocket all that money, and all the ratings come back to the MLB, and then now you want to be steroids is frowned upon. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry I cursed Captain America. I know you don't like to be a lot of cursing in your show.
But I think with the early steroid users, there is shared responsibility for that issue. That goes back to the players. It goes back to the union. It goes back to MLB. It goes back to drug testing policies. It goes back to the reporters and all the papers that profited off their success. But for me, that line in the sand is when they started testing and you willingly and knowingly are putting stuff in your body that you know is banned, that you know is illegal. That for me is the line in the sand where I can say Manny Ramirez out, Cano out, A-Rod out. A-Rod technically never failed a drug test, but he was suspended for the paper trail.
A-Rod technically
never did.
Well, the drug test was suspended for the paper trail. Was basically what he was suspended.
Which was a.
Let me. I just wanted to go to the chat here because I have one for Kev and one for Joe here, where the debate kind of takes off here. So CK. Now this is for Kev. CK here over at YankeesPod. Shout out to Chris Cayley. He goes, Pete Rose can't get into the Hall of Fame, so PED users shouldn't.
Oh,
would you like to respond to CK on that, Kev?
Me?
Yeah.
I love Pete Rose, his baseball career and what he did on the booth. I know there's some miss things besides his personal, whatever the case may be. I'm talking about his baseball career and what I saw on Fox with A-Rod and those guys. So I understand Pete Rose. I mean, his records are undeniable, but the MLB almost came to a collapse with the Black Sox scandal. And I think that's something they're not going to budge on, and I agree with them. I'm sorry, I cannot allow. Even though you didn't bet on your team, you still bet on baseball. That was a hard rule. You know the history, especially Pete Rose. You know the history and everything that went into that rule. And now you should have got a translator. That's a discussion for another day. But at this point right now, I can't allow it. So.
Go ahead, Joe.
There is a rule that is posted on every wall of every clubhouse in Major League Baseball. If you bet on baseball, you are permanently ineligible. Rose, regardless of whether it was to win or lose, bet on baseball, knowing that the punishment, if he got caught, was banishment. The records are irrelevant. If we were talking about the 26th man on the roster, if we're talking John Birdie or Starlin Marte, nobody would care. We care because he's the all-time hit king, but that does not absolve him from the crime of betting on the game of baseball while he managed the Reds. The fact of the matter is there was a rule. This was the punishment if you broke the rule, and he broke the rule not just once, hundreds of times. Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame because he decided with his behavior that he did not care about his future in the game of baseball when he bet on baseball. That is why Pete Rose isn't in the Hall of Fame, and he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame because that is the rule. He signed the contract. He knew what the rules were. He willingly broke them.
Let's move forward to our next debaters. Joe, Kev, thanks for that, man. On PED users being allowed into Cooperstown. Should they or should they not? Chat, you decide. What do you guys think? Great job, Kev and Joe. All right, we're gonna move on to our next.
That's what I always do. One's if you agree, two if you don't.
There you go. One if you agree, two if you don't. We'll find out from the chat. All right, our next debate regards CC Sabathia. So we're staying on the Hall of Fame. And our question is CC Sabathia a first ballot Hall of Famer? And taking this on for the Yankee side, we got Tom. And from the Mets side, his own colleague, Corey.
Look at this.
Let's go.
Corey Favs, why don't you start us off? Is CC Sabathia a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Listen, I do think CC Sabathia is a Hall of Famer, but if I'm going to look at some comparable numbers, I'm actually going to go back to a former Yankee who also made the Hall of Fame relatively recently, and that's Mike Mussina. You look at Mike Mussina's career numbers and CC Sabathia's career numbers, extremely similar. The 162 average is very similar. Mussina did it in one less season as well, has more wins in one less season. ERA, all that stuff is relatively the same. And it took Mussina until the sixth ballot. I do think Sabathia gets in. I don't think it's as long as 6 ballots. I'm going to say probably 2 or 3. But I don't think he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And the reason I say I look at pitchers that I grew up with and compare it to CC Sabathia. I think of Pedro Martinez, Randy Johnson, Greg Maddux, absolute pure elite. CC Sabathia, phenomenal pitcher. I wish he was my ace for a decade. Loved the guy, loved watching him pitch. But he was not as pure dominant as those 3 I mentioned. He wasn't even the most dominant lefty in his era of baseball. That nod goes to Clayton Kershaw. I mean, you want to look at the numbers. Kershaw won an MVP as a starting pitcher. He had 3 seasons under a 2 ERA, an ERA in the 1s. CC Sabathia only had 1 season with an ERA under 3. So that's not dominance. That's very, very good baseball over a very, very long period of time. Stayed relatively healthy up until the end. Again, a guy you're going to trust to make 30 starts each and every year, give you a quality start each and every start, but he is not the dominant pitcher of some of the other guys I've mentioned. I do think he will be a Hall of Famer. I think the further we get away from the era of baseball we grew up with, we're going to come to respect the type of pitchers like Sabathia, the guys who were workhorses on the mound and giving you 7+ innings and quality starts, start after start. Whereas in today's baseball, you got guys like Blake Snell who have the stuff but simply don't have the durability or the distance in games as guys like Sabathia. So I think we are going to respect that class of pitcher more in the future, and that's why I think he gets in quicker than Mussina. I just cannot put him in the class as the other 4 pitchers I mentioned.
All right. Go ahead, Tommy Bahama.
Listen, I would say I would take a scalp right now from Corey, but there doesn't look like there's much to take up there. Listen, there's no difference between a first ballot Hall of Famer and a Hall of Famer. You either are a Hall of Famer or you are not a Hall of Famer. And CC Sabathia is without a doubt a Hall of Famer. Get me off the orange side, Rich. Move me. Put me back on my right side.
What happened?
And Ciarra too.
The guy accidentally pressed a button.
You messed up. Get Joe off my side. David, just met you. Don't want you over here. Get back to where you're going.
I'm on the wrong side. Okay, we're good now.
Get out of here. Listen, CC Sabathia is a Hall of Famer, but there's no distinction between a first ballot and a Hall of Famer. I got a question for you, Corey. How many pitchers have struck out 3,000 batters in their career?
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I know CC Sabathia is right up there, though, on that list. What's he? Just over 3,000, right?
So there's 19 guys have accomplished that feat. All but, 2 are active. Verlander and Scherzer are active. Every one of the rest of them are in the Hall of Fame besides Curt Schilling, and Curt Schilling's not in because he's just frankly a D nozzle and just, pissed everyone off in his career. So CC deserves to be in. And if he deserves to be in, he deserves to be in the first ballot. Then he would on the second ballot, the third ballot, fourth ballot, doesn't matter. If you're a Hall of Famer, you are a Hall of Famer. CC Sabathia won a Cy Young. CC Sabathia he was top 5 Cy Young 5 different times. He received MVP votes in all of those seasons. He has the peak years to do it. He also was runner-up, and he should have been Rookie of the Year, his rookie year. Ichiro got it, but I also don't think imported players who played professionally should be eligible for Rookie of the Year. So, frankly, he should have been Rookie of the Year then. he's absolutely a Hall of Famer. And if you're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer this year as you are next year. Are his stats going to change next year? Or his stats in 3 years? Is he going to end up with some more wins? Is he going to end up with some more strikeouts? No, it's if he's a Hall of Famer, he's a Hall of Famer.
Listen, I think you talk about pure dominance. I'm a small hall guy, all right? I have enough of these compilers getting in. Craig Biggio, 3,000 hits. I don't think Craig Biggio is a Hall of Famer. I mean, when in my lifetime was I watching a game playing the Astros like, oh, man,
when did Craig Biggio win an MVP? When was his MVP?
Because he was a lot of times the third best hitter on his team, not even the best
talking about
hitter.
Craig Biggio, though.
And I'm not
talking about Craig Biggio.
And again, I'm just making that comparison because you mentioned the 3,000 Ks. He's a 3,000 hitter who I don't think should be in a Hall of Fame. I think the Hall of Fame is the
That's
elite
not the debate. Does the screen say Craig Biggio or does it say CC Sabathia? I think
I'm just talking stats. You're talking 3,000 Ks. I'm mentioning 3,000
Ks. I'm talking World Series winner. I'm talking Cy Young, having top 5 Cy Young, 5 years of top 5 Cy Young voting. And listen, if you look at all of the pitchers who have 3,000 strikeouts, they're all in the Hall of Fame. Verlander and Scherzer will be absolutely. And then listen, the issue with Curt Schilling is a whole separate thing that we don't have time to get into in this here podcast. He's a Hall of Famer. He absolutely was one of the best pitchers of his era. Was he better than Clayton Kershaw? No, but the Hall of Fame is not for the one best left-handed pitcher at a set time.
Now, quick question for both of you guys before we move on to the next part of the debate. Now, some debate here in the chat is what cap is CC Sabathia going to wear eventually when he does get inducted into Cooperstown? Tom, Corey, what do you guys think?
Brewers.
The Brewers would be something. No, it should be the Yankees.
It should be the Yankee hat.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. All right, guys, let's we'll move forward now to the chat once again. Is CC Sabathia first ballot Hall of Famer? 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1 for yes, 2 for no. That's how we count now. Okay, let's move on to the next part of our debate. And taking on our next question, we have Keef over at Shea and Sons, and we have Boogie over at YankeesPod. And our question for our panel here: which organization is set up for most success over the next few seasons? The New York Mets or the New York Yankees? Boogie, take it away.
Well, first of all, I want to say shout out to my son-in-law, daughter, and granddaughter who are watching Montana. I thought that was couldn't spend holidays with them, but we do a lot of video with them. And I was gonna say, where's Kev? Because he bolted, and I was wondering if he got sent down to the minors. But anyways, no, I honestly believe it's the New York Yankees, and the reason why is not because I'm wearing a New York Yankees cap. Right, they went to the World Series. So if we're talking right now with what we have in-house, I would say the New York Yankees. They're just defending American League champs. They're playing in a weak. I'll say a weak. I'll be honest, a weak American League. They don't have a lot of, not even in their own division, even across. When you send 3 teams out of the Central Division to the playoffs, that means your West and your East probably weren't as strong. And we've known the West has kind of been down with the Athletics and teams like that. So with that, I'll also say the number one thing you guys know me for this year has been pitching. And when you got Garrett Cole, Max Fried, and Carlos Rodon wrapped up for the next 4 years, then you got Clark Schmidt and Luis Gil behind that. And the Clark Schmidt, a guy that I don't think gets a lot of enough credit in Yankees, Yankees land. I think he's always kind of the forgotten guy, but he was big for us the last couple of years. And then you got the Judge. He's the MVP the last few years, or 2 of the last 3 years, I believe. And I believe he was Triple Crown. And both he was battling for the Triple Crown in both those years. But then you throw in the young guys that we have. We have Volpe. We don't know what we're going to get out of Ben Rice. I mean, he showed some stuff. We have Jason Dominguez, who's he's looking to be penciled in as a left fielder. So you start throwing that in, plus our bullpen. We just signed Devin Williams. He's only on a 1-year deal, or traded for him or whatever we did. We got him. So, just with that alone, we're set up good. I mean, looking across, and I'm not going to speak for Kev or Keef on his team. I won't pretend to know anything. I know they signed Soto. But when you don't have starting pitching, 162 ball games in a season, you can mask and hide a lot of your flaws. I've watched it numerous times living in Minnesota with the Twins. I've seen it. We've seen it across baseball. Well, what shows up and what do you need in the playoffs? Pitching. They do pitching matchups for a reason. They don't say, oh well, we got the number 7 hitter against the number 7 hitter when they break down a game. It's always the who's pitching. And when you got 5 starters like that, it's we still have guys in the minor leagues like that who haven't really been given a real great shot, like Yoendi Gomes. I think I said his name, Yoendi Gomes. I think I got his name right.
You're close enough.
Thank you. And and then we still have guys down there too, like George Vivats hasn't got his chance. And I think we're just set up better. With that, I mean, if I'll say this, it's all right in front of us as long as Boone stays out.
Keep going.
Well, that was a lovely take. I actually don't disagree with anything Boogie says. I think the question says, which organization is set up for more success over the next few seasons? Clearly, the answer is the Yankees. There's no doubt about it. Because the Yankees, at this point in time, can go to sleep and they'll be in the American League Championship no matter what happens. The Mets got to go through the biggest gauntlet I think I've ever seen. And that's no shade because I know at one point the American League was tough, but this is the most crazy I've ever seen the National League. I'm genuinely at a point where I want to sign more players after spending $800 million because the National League is such a crazy league this year. Well, on paper it is. That it's going to be difficult for the Mets, even with a Juan Soto, even with a Lindor, even with a rising star in Vientos, even with a Nimmo, and a lot of pieces that I definitely love. And I think the Mets are going to do what they did last year? Probably not, but I think they could win the division. I'm not really big on the competition in the division, but it's out of the division that's quite alarming, especially what's going on the West Coast. And it's not just the Dodgers. The Padres to me have a really fun roster. I really do think that they're going to be just as good as they were last year. I mean, out of nowhere, in the middle of the night, the Arizona Diamondbacks are spending $200 million on a starting pitcher. So it's very difficult for us. I'm not complaining. I'd rather it be this way. We have to learn how to win somehow. So if we can sustain success, I mean, depending on how each organization views success, my personal belief, it's not World Series or bust for us yet. The reason why I say that is because for me as a fan, I want to win a division. I want to win a pennant, and then I want to win the World Series. I feel like we did the wild card. We got to start gaining respect like that as a fan base personally. And I think those goals, we can't just be like, we're going to win the World Series without dominating the National League East. No, we have to sustain some sort of ground and gain respect league-wide by dominating our own rivals. We did it last year. We have to do it again so people don't call us a fluke, and we have to continue that rise up. I love our team. I'm very, very confident in the Mets this year, which is something I never say. And that's confidence in a league that's, to me, very difficult to win in. Do I think we're going to win in it right now? No. So I think the Yankees have a little bit of a leg up, and there's no shade to the Yankees. Like, I will say this, though. I'm a big fan of what the Texas Rangers got. So it's not going to be a walkthrough for the Yankees, but I do think they're going to go right back to the American Champions League Series. So I think it's going to be a little bit more of a leg up for the Yankees. And they have a good roster. Like, if anybody said the Yankees suck, then they're just trolling. But the Yankees have a good roster. They still have Aaron Judge, and they have a good rotation.
That's fair. Well, I'll throw a B part to this question for the both of you guys. Keef, which team in the National League East do you think is the biggest hurdle for the New York Mets? And then same for Boogie for the American League East. Which team do you think is the biggest hurdle for the New York Yankees in the division? Keef, we'll start with you and then Boog.
The Marlins.
Who else?
The Marlins. Mets fans are here. Where are my Mets fans? Are my Mets fans here? Am I wrong?
The Marlins always give us a hard time, though, man. Let me tell you, I've seen so many Marlin eliminations in September.
I've been in situations where I'm watching games with my cousins or whatever, and they're like, "You playing the Marlins? Oh, you got this." And I just look at them like, "Wow." No, we go into Marlins Park.
100% the Marlins, terrifying team.
You sweat. You're nervous because you know that team. When you have a team that's young and they're not playing for anything, and you got guys that just want to show out. because they're not playing for anything, that's when they play their hardest. That's when you see those young guys come out, and they do it against good teams that are already proven to, you know, make success and get to the playoffs. And that's
Nationals are going to be annoying as hell too. So I'm
Marlins,
very, yeah.
I'll tell you what, the Marlins, it's always a battle of David versus Goliath, and unfortunately, the Mets are actually Goliath in that scenario.
All right, Bunk, take the answer any way you want. Biggest hurdle for the New York Yankees?
Boston Red Sox. I know the Orioles are good, but the Orioles don't have any pitching. We've discussed that many times and stuff, and I just think the Blue Jays, they're just a mess. I mean, it's good, some good young players up there, but they have not been the same since AA left and went to Atlanta. And it'll always be Boston. I just think they have better. They have a fast team. They have a young team. And it does, no matter what. We saw it when the games that we went to this year. It'll always be Boston. I just think it brings out the best in both franchises, no matter where they're at in the standings, whether one's 13 games out and one's leading the division, or either they're neck and neck. It'll always be Boston for me.
And you know what? It's what's best for baseball, right? You know, if it's Yankees Red Sox battling out for the American League East, like, you know, there's no better two foes to do that. So it'll be great to see that in 2025. Bunk, Keith, thank you guys very much. We'll go to our final debate. And this is going to be between, of course, ESPN's own and part of Pinstripe Chronicles podcast. We got Ciarra adorning the Keef sunglasses, but although Keef will not be opposing Ciarra, it will be David over at Top Bunk Sports. And our final debate question for our two, the Los Angeles Dodgers. So the Dodgers continue to have the ability to defer salaries. Dave, we'll start with you, and then Ciarra to wrap up.
No, I do not think they should have the ability to defer salaries. I think if you look at it from a perspective, if another team was doing it, I think the league would take more action on that team. I'll use my team, for example, the New York Mets. The New York Mets were able to defer Juan Soto's contract. If the New York Mets were able to defer, let's say, a Shohei Ohtani contract within itself, if he was here, I think the league would pivot to the Mets and be like, whoa, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Because of the owner and because of his spending and what he's been able to do. I think it's more of a league type of thing where I think the league pivots to the Dodgers more and they allow it because that's the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think the league, in my opinion, have a vendetta against the New York Mets, where if they were to get in that situation, they would automatically do an investigation just out of the blue. And I think they haven't been able to do that with the Dodgers, and I think they need to look into that because at the end of the day, that's just something where they're just, again, you sign these guys for this amount of money, and now you got to deal with that. There's no escaping around it. You saw the contract with Juan Soto itself; they didn't defer no money out of that. They're paying that full on with a signing bonus, which could possibly go up to $800 million. You know what I'm saying? So they're taking that head on. The Dodgers are not with these contracts. The Dodgers are slowly it off, which I guess you could look at it from a standpoint where it's like they're trying to ease it out. But in terms of the league looking at it, you've never had a team that's been able to maneuver that. So it's like I feel like with the Dodgers, they're just kind of giving them a leeway out of that. But I feel like another team like the Giants, maybe any other big market team that's not the Los Angeles Dodgers, I think the league would look at that and be like, you know what, we're gonna investigate that because this organization is ran by a gentleman that has so much money and he can just pull it off whenever he wants. I think that's personally how I feel.
Ciarra?
Yeah. All right. So now it's time to get serious. So while I agree that the league probably does have a vendetta against the Mets, we saw it last year with all the social media after the Mets lost to the pod, or, you know, when they were losing in the playoffs and everything. But the Dodgers should absolutely be able to keep deferring whatever money they want. Because why are other teams not taking advantage of this? There is no rule to it. And if you guys did not know, you have two of your very own players with deferrals on your team currently. Francisco Lindor and Edwin Diaz both have deferrals in their contracts. So it's not like other teams haven't done it. They just haven't done it to the extent of the Dodgers. Some other fan favorites, Rafael Devers, Chris Sale, Christian Yelich, they all have deferrals. Again, not as crazy as the Dodgers, but there's no rule against it. So if the Dodgers want to go broke to win a few World Series in a row, by all means do it. It clearly worked for them in 2024. I mean, coming from a Yankees fan, they mopped the floor with us at the World Series, right? Like they made us embarrass ourselves. So if other teams can't figure out how to do it and get the players they need, like that's not a Dodgers problem. That's a league problem. So if the league wants them to stop, the CBA needs to come together and make it end.
Yeah, and 2026 is only 2 years away. I see these next 2 years being very crazy when it comes to baseball contracts. We saw, the Yankees had Max Fried. They're shortening his deal to $12 million year over year for the first 2 years. And I kind of suspect if that has something to do with that CBA is coming up and maybe teams are going to play around that. Dave, Ciarra, final comments on this whole Dodgers thing, and then we're going to throw it to our next segment. David, go ahead.
No, I just think when you bring up that CBA, I think you'll be able to see. I think the CBA kind of works in lower market teams' favors now. I think you'll be able to see CBA kind of pivot to teams that really are not spending aggressively, like the Mets, like the Yankees, like the Dodgers, and kind of get them out there because, in all naturality, these teams need to spend, man. I mean, in my personal opinion, I think that's one of the reasons why the Oakland, well, now Sacramento A's are where they're at, where that owner kind of looked and was just kind of like, listen, we need to do something. We need to Oakland is kind of it's not a small market, but the way the fan base is, the way they're at and not generating enough money, they're kind of trying to get out and trying to go to a bigger market in Vegas, where Vegas is now generating, the football team, and now they got the baseball team. So now it's kind of generating a sports look now, where I think now small market teams can go out there and start spending. Now the CBA is gonna force them to go out there and try to put their organization in some type of way where they can consistently be in contention to compete.
Ciarra, final comments.
Yeah, I would love to see smaller market teams spend more money. The owner of the Cleveland Guardians is one of the richest dudes in baseball, and he refuses to spend any money. And it doesn't make any sense to me, because you would think consistently losing to the New York Yankees in the playoffs would make you go out and get better players, right? But they don't. They don't care about their fans. They don't care about any of this. And that, to me, that's their problem. I would just like to remind everybody that the Mets have one of the biggest and most popular deferrals in baseball history with Bobby Bonilla. So
looks like chump change now.
Yeah,
it is what it is. And now Corbin Burns just got his deferrals, and other teams might be figuring it out now. So again, until the CBA puts a stop to it, keep deferring money. And you know what? In 20 years, when LA is broke, they'll have to deal with it.
We'll laugh.
They're not going to be broke.
Exactly.
They're not going to.
No one
broke.
asked you, Kevin.
They're not going to be broke.
The Guggenheims have more money than all the owners put together.
Well, that's why they did the deferral, so they can take that money and invest it and make more money for themselves.
Yeah, they have guys. You guys think
Crazy.
going rich? Go look.
I mean, that's a good philosophy. Good philosophy. You can get away with it. I mean, it's no, I don't think it's wrong, personally, but that's not my debate.
There you go. More on the Dodgers as we continue this all season. I'm sure there's a few more deferrals on the way before we wrap up 2024 and 2025's off season. Guys, great job here on the Big Apple debate. Hopefully, not the last time we do that bit here on Empire State of Baseball. You all had fantastic points on either side of the ball. Keef surprised me picking the Yankees on the orange and blue side. It's not too late to join us, Keef. It's not too late.
I paid Keith.
If we had it easy, we'd have a few rings by now. Met fans know that.
Okay. All righty. Well, that is.
We like it hard. That's what she said.
Hey, Diablo.
Yeah. Okay. All righty, folks.
You need an air horn, my brother. You need.
And for the record, I had TC as not as a first ballot.
You don't have him as a first ballot?
Kind of rude.
I don't. I don't. I mean, he'll get in. I just don't think first ballot. But then again, this being said,
what's the difference?
It depends on who's his competition, right? I mean, in a strong year, he wouldn't get first ballot. He may get it this year.
That was my point with it. It depends who's on the ballot with him.
Right.
That's the thing. On this ballot, I think he is. If you add another couple guys in there, maybe you have to argue, but.
Yeah, I guess that was my hang up with it. That's why, and I got that question sprung on me.
He was also.
My problem is.
Go ahead, Joe.
Mark Burley has a better OPS plus, ERA plus than CC Sabathia. I think that's CC's issue. Is as an overall, he's got as many 4 ERA seasons as he does sub 3.5 ERA seasons.
Yeah, but he played towards the tailgate of the steroid era. I mean, he also had flashes. Like, you talk about the 1 year he had a sub 3 ERA. He pitched on 4 days rest, 5 games with the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's not forget that. That was an insane run. So, like,
I agree.
There's flashes of greatness in CC's career.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then not to bring in, like, Corey brought in, not to keep going here, Rich, sorry, but Corey brought in, a position player. I would say this: if Kurt Schilling's not in, then I have a hard time putting CC there. Kurt Schilling was one of the best big game pitchers there was in my lifetime, and he's not in, and we know why, and that's whatever. I'm not getting into that. It's just
chill.
Yeah.
Kurt Schilling.
But then that being said, Pedro is the best pitcher I probably have seen. Him and Greg Maddux.
All right. Well, we still look at extra debate. Love that. We're going to keep that same energy later on tonight for a new episode of Extra Innings on X, formerly known as Twitter, of course, co-hosted by
Tom
Ciarra,
going to join us, though?
Oh, Tom?
Absolutely not.
It's good try, Tom. I appreciate it. Great attempt. Okay. Now, while we're setting up for the next game, let's go around the room one more time just to shout out everybody's great work here of course, in the community. We'll start at the top left corner with our guy, Kevin Cruz, over at NYYU. Kev, tell us a little bit about the channel as I get things ready for our next bit.
The NYYUnderground is a one-stop shop for the New York Yankees, the team that runs New York and still runs New York and will ever run New York. All right? Yeah, we said it. We have Yankees Farm with Los and I were there with the prospects. You have designated spitters with Pete and Francis. You got the Bronx and nothing with your boy here as well, and then you got the fellas with NYYST and game season where Pete, if you don't like Michael K or you don't like the guy that's covering Michael K, or if you're stuck with a national broadcast, because we know how bad those can be with Apple TV and those guys, come over to game season, listen to Pete, listen to us, call the games and interact with the chat. So that's what NYYU is at. NYY Underground. Come swing by.
Especially if you don't want to listen to my butchered play-by-play commentary on ESP NYYY, you go over to NYYU where Pete and the boys are doing a great job over there. All right, David, more on Top Bunk Sports, upcoming projects you guys got going on. Again, tell us a lot of folks trickled in after we got through the intro. Tell us more about the channel.
Yeah, man, just more lives and more conversations, and hopefully when the season starts, we get to implement some watch games as well. I know Shea and Sons does that a lot, so we try to maybe do collabs here and there, trying to get the Mets community in and come together, but just trying to create more conversation, more conversation about the game, more conversation about the Mets, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be a fun year, but I tend to pivot not only on baseball but on the Knicks as well, and just try to keep the lane going and just trying to get more information out there and just try to be a different voice, just trying to be somebody different. But yeah, more lives and more consistent episodes as we go, man. Just trying to stay consistent and just trying to give the people more different topics and more conversations. Trying to give a fresh new vibe out there.
Love it. Make sure to give Dave and the fellas a follow over at Top Bunk Sports and a subscribe to over on YouTube. By the way, folks, if you're checking out our show on the link, whether you're on your tablet, mobile device, a laptop, if you check our description, everybody's channel with their link is in there. Even Boogie over at YankeesPod on X, that's also there as well. So make sure you check the description. Give everybody a like, share, subscribe. We got to grow this community together. Ciarra, of course, you're a part of the ESB family, and we obviously are well familiar with your work over on Extra Innings. But tell us more about the Upper Deck and Pinstripe Chronicles.
Yeah, so every Sunday I go live. The channel name is Pinstripe Chronicles. I have 4 wonderful partners. So Uncle Tats, Rob, and Donald go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Lynn and I go live Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern. And the reason that I love working with Lynn so much is because there aren't a lot of female Yankee content creators. So for the two of us to get together and to just have a voice, and we don't always agree, but we have such a good time, and the chat is always amazing. We just reached over 1,000 subscribers, so it's been a really fun journey. And then, of course, I'm a part of the ESP team. I love doing the ESPN NYY. I'm sure you guys can tell when I'm tweeting versus when Rich or Tom is tweeting. There's a huge difference in what we say. Definitely a huge difference in agendas as well. But, I mean, thanks for having me on your team too, Rich. It's been an incredible journey.
Of course. Well deserved. Tom's the one that sends out the tweets with the heart, like the little heart hand emoji, right? That's Tom.
Yes.
That's not you.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
he also says besties. Yeah, that's totally Tom.
Sometimes.
Shout.
I don't know.
Thank you, Ciarra. I really appreciate all the work you do. Make sure to give Ciarra a follow and subscribe to everything that she's a part of, especially us. Keef, my guy Keef over at Shea and Sons. Keef had me on an episode recently of Uncomfortable Conversations, and it did get a little uncomfortable. I played the part of Hal Steinbrenner at one point during that episode, so that was a lot of fun. So shout out to Keef and his brother Key over at Shea and Sons. But Keef, tell the crowd here more about Shea and Sons.
Yeah, man. We like to kind of bring the barbershop vibe to Mets, land, and give everybody that freedom of speech and make people feel real comfortable. We understand that the Met community is still a gated community where a lot of Met fans, they haven't found their voice. So we want the Met fans to find their voice through Shea and Sons. So what me and my brother do, we kind of we're ourselves when we talk about the Mets. We're not trying to be a specific persona. We're not trying to do anything different than what we would do if we were watching the Mets in our living room. And we want everyone else to have that comfort and that likability to just be themselves around us. What we tend to do is we like to have uncomfortable conversation episodes where we kind of just touch on a lot of topics that a lot of people are afraid to talk about or are afraid to listen to. So that's more of a cornerstone of what we do. We also have the lunch table where a lot of friends come on and we have a lot of conversations. And then me and my brother, we tend to have our own personal episodes. We break down player targets. We break down trade targets. We are now starting something very special on the 12th. I can't tell you guys what it is, but it's something very, very different. And we like to we kind of really want to be able to give people the comfortability to talk about baseball, which for many years, we were looking for baseball fans, and we feel like the sport needs to grow. Not only does it need to grow, it needs to grow amongst men, women, all different types of backgrounds, all different types of heritage. When they want to talk about growing the game, I'm all for it. I'm a big WBC guy, and we want Shea and Sons to be as diverse as possible. So we welcome everyone from every fan base to just talk about baseball at the end of the day in a Mets kind of centric type of setting. So we appreciate all support. Also, guys, if you're watching and you're in the chat, give ESB a like, give them the like on the YouTube, give them a retweet on Twitter, give them the support, and shoot up those subs, man. Give them the support. They do great work.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Shout out to Keef, and also shout out to his brother Keef, doing exceptional work over at Shea and Sons. And finally, Bug, we turn over to you on this weird episode of the Brady Bunch that we got going on right now. Bug, tell us more about YankeesPod.
Yeah, that was something that I think Jimmy Randazzo kind of started up last January, maybe late December, and I kind of bumped into those guys just out of chance. They form a good team. I guess we'd call it in the infant stage where we're just kind of just sitting on the spaces, looking to go different ways, but it's kind of hard because everybody's got different lives, works different schedules, and then there are different stages of their life. So, what's important and what's not. But shout out to Jimmy, Cam, Lukash, a guy that doesn't get a lot of talk, and he actually does a really good job is Chris Kayla, CK. He does a lot of stuff that he is. I would say this, he is YankeesPod. He really is. And that's not a slight to any of the guys like Chris Evans and stuff that was supposed to be in where I'm sitting in for tonight on this. CK does a lot. He does a lot of the gets out there and tries to get interviews. We did one with with Luke Weaver. That was his big one. He did a Luke Weaver interview where he gave him a shirt from I think he got that one from Yanks Girl 90 whatever I can't remember what her handle is. But he does a lot. He doesn't get a lot of the credit, and I think he deserves it. But he is somebody we met at NYY's U Day He sat with us at the game. But yeah, that's what kind of doing. We're going to get back into the spaces. I know once it gets closer. I took time off just myself. I in October, November, I just getting back into the social media game here because just you need a mental break after a long season. But I'm looking forward to season 2 with everybody here and getting to know everybody a little bit better. But yeah, you look for YankeesPod, probably get closer to spring training again.
And shout out to Bug and the whole team over at YankeesPod, Christy Evis, Chris Kalis, Luke Cash, Cam Belden, and of course, Jimmy Randazzo, founder of the channel. All right, it's time for Empire Elephant. I got my Santa hat here with all these names, so we're going to shuffle the deck here and pick out the order. Now, for Empire Elephant, by the way, for those of you at home who don't know, the game of White Elephant, which is what we're going to play right now. I'm going to draw the order right here. Now, if you remember, if you're familiar with the game, also in the Office episode known as Yankee Swap, it's best for you to be at the end so you kind of have, the right to pick whatever gift you see picked earlier. If you picked at the beginning, you're kind of at the behest of everybody else in the game. Now, how we're playing this, these gifts right here, not actual gifts. We're not playing for actual prizes here. But each of these gifts are going to represent a remaining free agent that is in the active bin. So luckily, nothing had changed since this episode started. I think Miguel Castro just signed the deal with the Houston Astros, if I'm not mistaken. Miguel Castro is not part of this game, which is great. So each of our 8 competitors here chose a gift. They brought a gift out to the game, and I thank our 8 people here on the panel for being a part of this whole thing. We're going to start in the top left corner. We're going to go clockwise. So going first in our Empire Elephant. Oh, this is perfect. Ciarra is going to go first to start. So again, what we're going to be doing throughout the game, we're going to be drawing free agents from these boxes. All of our competitors are going to be giving a prediction to those players, a contract figure, a team year, all that stuff. Whoever comes the closest. Now, we're not going to know a winner tonight, but whoever comes get the closest to one of these correct predictions will win a prize. Now, Joe, as I pull through the next name, Joe, you have that prize. What have we got?
I got 2 boxes here of Topps Heritage Baseball 2022 packs. They may contain real autographs. So, whoever wins will get these 2 boxes mailed to them, and hopefully they stay in my possession and I get some nice autographs.
Well, Joe, you're not.
What are we doing here?
You're gonna be going third here. Shout out to Tone. Oh, the ESB folks already out of the way here. So we got Tom gonna go 4th here. Keef, you're gonna go 5th. We got Keef gonna go 5th right after Tom.
David Wright,
Boogie.
number 5.
Boogie's gonna go 6th. So it's gonna come down to either David or Kevin, who's gonna be going last. We're gonna find out shortly. David, you're gonna be going 7th. Kev, you're going to be going last. So, Kev, you're in the driver's seat.
I'm stealing somebody's shit because I'm Dominican. And
Elephant. So, let's start it off. And I'll remind you of all the rules as we go. It's the first time we're doing this. It's going to be extra confusing the first time around. And I promise you, it's going to be a lot smoother by this time next year. So, Ciarra, choose a gift. You can pick through 1 through 8 here. So, what are we thinking?
Glivatory.
I hate you so much, Kevin. Give me number 6.
Oh, the big boy. Okay, number 6.
I feel like you're trying
here.
to trick me, Keef.
We're going with number 6.
Joe Torre, okay.
Now I get to have all the fun because I get to open up all the gifts myself.
I can't believe you
Did you
actually
wrap them yourself?
Yeah.
You should have picked 4, bro.
Okay.
I thought you were
like
saying
this one.
8.
No, 4.
Hey, Rich, is that your new studio?
There is no 8.
No, that's
there's
not
8.
yet.
How's the family?
Number 6. Let's go to the gift. What do we got here for number 6? Kevin, what are you
Why
doing
is
right
Kevin-
now?
Chunky Dominican. That's
Why
the
am I
gift.
here?
A chunky Dominican is the gift.
On
Look at that.
photo.
Look at that handsome Dominican man.
All right. Well,
Why am I still in the middle?
Oh,
That's
okay.
very close to Tanner
of
Scott
course.
Johnson, by the way. What am I doing here?
It is Tanner Scott, which is also thank you, Kev, for your gift. Kevin gifted Ciarra Tanner Scott. Now, Ciarra, it's up to you. What do you got for Tanner Scott's contract figure and prediction?
I forgot about Tanner.
All right, so I like this gift. Thanks, Kevin. I'm going to say Tanner Scott to the Brewers because they need a bullpen arm. And I'm going to say 4 years. I'm not good with contracts, guys. I'm not the numbers person. I'm not a mathematician. I'm just a girl.
What AAV you got? And I'll do the total for you.
AAV of 16 million for 4 years.
That sounds right, actually.
All right, 64 mil.
That's right on the nail.
So Tanner
That's not
Scott,
bad.
Brewers 4 years, for $64 million. That's a $16 million AAV. Okay, so that's Tanner Scott's evaluation. Okay, so Corey Favs, you're next. Would you like to steal Ciarra's prediction or choose from the circle?
I'm going to go for a pick, and I think the Mets are number one, so I'm going with number one. Let's do it.
Going with number one.
So
Which one is number one here? Is it this
Number
little guy
one.
right here?
There you go. That you
number
got it.
one. All right. No, this is tough to do when I have to look at the camera. Okay, number one,
It's tough for us to look at you in the camera too, Rich.
Mr. Corey Fag. Okay. Oh, shut up.
You got a little
I'm not the one
package.
wearing sunglasses. You ugly.
Oh,
Okay, here we
wow.
go. We got Justin. Wait, where is he? We're gonna pull him up here. Don't show up, Kev, on me.
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Verlander is our choice here. We got Justin Verlander as our pick. So Corey Favs, the former Met that everybody remembers that tenure. What do you got for Justin Verlander? And thank you, Joe, for the gift.
2 years, 80 million.
Oh, man.
Fuck you, Kevin. All right, kiss my ass, Kevin. Fuck you. Okay.
This is
You didn't even. Fuck you, Kevin. Just
let it eat.
I'm going to go again. I think there's going to be some sort of incentive for awards and shit, but I'm just going to go base 1 year, $15 million. It's getting a discount with the age and everything. I'm going to go with, just because they need some pitching, and I know they already signed an older pitcher from Japan, but I'm going with the Orioles. Why not? Let's go with the Orioles.
Ooh, I like
1
that.
year,
They need
15
pitching.
minute- $15 million with the Orioles. Now, I wanted to throw out there, guys, you
Wow.
don't have to necessarily assign a team to any of the guys you see, because there are going to be some ones in here that may not even deserve a contract. So we'll see when the pot goes. But Corey's got Justin Verlander, 1 year, $15 million with the Orioles. Okay. All right. So, Joe, it's your turn. Would you like to steal Ciarra or Corey's gift, or you want to draw from the pot?
If I steal Corey's gift, do I reassign the team in the years, or I steal the
no
assets?
wild card. No
All right.
wild card here.
Give me number 8 for my birthday. I'll take number 8. As
Kobe.
much as
Number
I-
eight,
Deal.
Reese. Here, okay.
Shout out Kobe.
Now,
Shout out
Sorry.
the upcoming
Kobe.
NFL MVP, Lamar
The real
Jackson.
That was a terrible
Action
shot.
Jackson.
Kev.
The real GOAT.
yeah, what
That's
are we
your
doing?
your
Yeah, that's
What
my
are we
shot.
doing?
I'm
Just
Dominican. I don't play
no,
basketball. What are
your
we,
follow through is horrible.
what are we doing here? I don't play
Oh.
basketball.
Top Kevin
like
in the
this
middle.
one. Number 8 is Pete Alonso.
Oh man.
Yes.
Pete Alonso,
That's not fair.
courtesy of Top Bunk. Thank you, David. Appreciate your gift. Joe, what do you got for Pete Alonso?
I got Alonso to the Mets at 5 years at $25 million a year. So 5 for $125 back to the Mets.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Alonso Mets, 5-year, 125. Good wild prediction considering how much money he probably would have made, if he had signed the contract earlier with the Mets. Just saying, I don't know. But all right. So Pete Alonso, 5 years, 125 to the Mets. All right, Thomas. How about you? Would you like to steal one of these people's predictions, or you want to draw from this circle of gifts? What do you got?
First, I just want to say we got this Go Bills Rodriguez new guy in the chat here, and I want to know how upset he's gonna be when Josh Allen yet again does not win MVP, and Lamar Jackson wins it for a third time. It's
Even
gonna
though
be
Joe Burrow
hilarious.
deserves it.
Yeah, well,
Throwing it
the
out there.
Bengals stink, and they're probably not. They might not even make the playoffs. So Joe Burrow's not winning MVP.
That's the only reason he's not winning it, though.
Well, that's kind of a big thing, Ciarra. I'm sorry.
Did you pick a
Big
fucking
team makes the
gift?
playoff. Hey, listen, it's my time, and I'm going to use it how I damn well please. That being said, Lamar Jackson's winning his third MVP, and for that, his third MVP, I will take number 3.
Oh shit!
Why is nobody stealing? You guys
Why
are
am I in
winning.
the middle of this thing again?
Number 3. Okay. Number
So I'm gonna
3.
get this
No, we're
swap.
leaving you there,
I'm gonna
Kev. We're
swap
not gonna
something
go
out.
we're definitely not gonna go for the top screen again. All righty, number 3. Oh, I really wrapped this one pretty good here. I'm getting impressed by my rapping skills lately, folks. All
The fact that
righty
you rap
here.
these is
Number
amazing.
3. Oh, okay. Okay, this is a good one. Someone who is connected to the Yankees for a little bit in free agency. We have Ha-Sung Kim.
What you
Courtesy
call
of
me?
Corey Faz. Ha-Sung
Squid Game.
Kim.
AKA Squid Game.
I don't know.
Shout out season 2.
Well,
Well,
Tom, what are we thinking?
Ooh, definitely tied to the Yankees. Don't love it for the Yankees though. Let's see who needs a versatile infielder. Let's see.
Detroit.
I mean, well, yeah, they do have Glaber there, so they do need someone who could play defense.
There you go. You asked for it.
That was so uncalled for.
It's Ciarra. I mean, you walked
Oh my
into it.
God.
You can't just. I mean, come on. Let's get Ha-Sung Kim to. God, you know what? Let's send him. No, he's not going to go to the Mets.
Nope.
Like he could.
That's correct.
Yeah, but you know.
What about your team?
He could go there, but I don't want him there.
Tom, how are we still on you right now? Come on, bud. Let's go.
Because it's a tough one, man. I don't know. We've had some easy ones so far.
You should have traded.
He would kill it on your team. He would kill it on your team.
Yeah, but let's send him to the who's Giants second baseman? Giants need an infielder.
Sure.
Let's look up the
I think
Giants.
so.
How about Toronto?
No, Toronto just got Jimenez.
No one wants to go to Toronto. Give me Ha-Sung Kim to the Giants on a 4-year, $65 million contract.
$65 million, 4 years. So the Tanner Scott deal, essentially. $16.25 million AAV. Okay, Thomas. Okay. All right, very good. Keith, you could be the first person to steal a gift, or you can take from the pot. What do you want to do?
Can I pick my own?
No.
Steal.
No, I thought you can't pick your own.
Yeah, because my number's there. So do I have the opportunity?
2, 4, 5, 7.
No, he's asking if he can bring. Remember, you told us not to pick our own pick, or I don't know.
Yeah,
like if
I think my pick is there. I'm saying, am I allowed
So
to
avoid that. Yeah, you're gonna avoid that.
Can somebody
No, I don't want to avoid that. Can I pick that?
No.
It's against the rules.
You're gonna pick your own gift that you bring to White Elephant? Who does
Why?
that?
He's got 3 more
Steal.
people.
You know why? Because someone's gonna steal it. Don't you think?
Why don't
You
you
know what?
steal and then I'll pick
Nobody's
it?
stealing.
Wait. All right. So, question: There's wild cards in these boxes, right?
Yes.
There are. That's the thing. And I forgot. Thank you for mentioning that. There are still wild cards in these boxes. There are 2 wild cards. So if you steal one of these wild card picks, anybody can change them to whatever you want. So let's say you take whatever the wild card and Kev goes, he can change it to any team, any contract.
I'd rather get a wild card to steal my actual pick. Okay. So what's available? 2, 4, 5, and 7?
2, 4, 5, and 7.
With 3 people left. So there's 1 wild card left. There's 1 wild
2
card.
wild cards.
There's 2 that haven't come out
There's
yet.
4 people.
Keith, I mean, people gave me a hard time. Come on.
But let's do the math. There's 3 people. Oh no, there's 4 people left. All right,
Hey,
my
we
bad.
doing math on a Monday.
Come on, Keith.
Let me get, because I know mine's right there.
Work in progress,
Let
folks.
me get lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7. All right. Lucky number 7 is this guy. Okay, let's go.
Jose Reyes number.
That's Tim Anderson's number.
No.
Man.
Mickey Mantle.
There's no exact. Thank you, Boogie. Only one guy wears
I was
something.
looking forward. I was looking forward to this.
Mickey
one.
Mantle played baseball with plumbers.
You know why I'm looking forward to this one?
Yeah, and
There's
play
clearly a
drum.
wild card in there.
And play drum.
That wild card? Can I get that wild card?
Hands it out. Oh,
Oh, he got an actual wild card from Uno.
It's a wild card. We don't
Thank you,
say
sir.
that. We're not trying to get sued.
Thank you,
okay?
sir.
bro, you just showed Tim Anderson. What are we doing here?
Oh
Who the
no.
hell brought Tim Anderson?
This host all over the place.
No, I'm sorry. You can't bring Tim Anderson into this. You should have avoided that.
Alex Bregman is your choice.
Wait, I got a wild card.
Yeah.
Wait, so I get Alex Bregman and the wild card?
Yes.
You get the wild card, but it's to somebody else's benefit, not yours.
Why?
Why? I just got it.
Oh, because if you steal Alex, you can change the team. That's why.
Exactly.
Nobody did Alex Bregman yet.
Keith got him.
I got Bregman and the wild card.
No, you
Just a
don't.
little low. No?
My brain hurt.
He pulled out a wild
Rich, you
card.
messed this up. You made this too complicated.
He pulled out a wild card.
You should have given it to the guy who picked it. I agree. You should
Challenge flag. Challenge flag.
You want to
All
change
right.
the rules in the
How
middle
about
of it?
New rule. We got a new rule.
Wild cards are out.
The
Keith
wild
got
card-
I
Bregman.
feel like this
You
is
can
this is
do-
the cheap.
You can do whatever the fuck you want. If you want to steal somebody's prediction now, and change it to whatever team, you absolutely can. Or you could keep yours and risk this wild card not even being used. What do you want to do?
What?
Oh,
So I can't save it.
You just got what you wanted.
Yeah, but I want to save it, but I can't do that.
You can't save it.
I know. I clearly, I know he made that clear.
Yeah,
now.
Cohen has made you guys so
You either can take Alex Bregman or you could take one of the 4 guys already taken, but you get to change their team and contract. If you want.
Thank you,
So
Tom.
If you want Justin Verlander
going
to Texas, you could do that instead of keeping.
Can y'all let Tom talk? This is Tom's time.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Thank you, Tom.
Gotcha, Keef.
Rich, take notes from your friends here, okay?
Oh, wow.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Tom. All right. I'm gonna roll with Bregman. I'll just keep Bregman.
Bro.
Hold that.
All right, Bregman's gonna sign a 7-year deal. I'd say 190 in Detroit.
Let's go.
190
I like it.
in
Yeah, he'll get the 7 years.
7 years, 190 Detroit. All right. So for Boogie, Dave, and KC, you get a wild card. You can do whatever you want with it. You can steal somebody's gift after you already chose. Just whatever. Okay. Work in progress, folks.
We've
Boogie,
established the
what do you wanna
wild card, Rich. Why are you making this harder than it needs to be?
This sucks, man. I already know Tim Anderson's in
I've
there.
got to pee, so that's the problem. Tom, right now.
No, Tom's good.
Boogie, what do you got? You want to choose from the pile, or do you want to steal somebody's gift?
you know from our previous conversation today, I'm stealing Keef's.
Oh,
Love it. Love it.
I had Alex Bregman.
love it.
Back when Rich knows this, I was texting him back in November when we were talking about where he was going to go. I wasn't on Spaces. I wasn't listening to anybody. I wasn't reading tweets. I said Alex Bregman would go to the Tigers, and the reason I said that was because it would reunite him with AJ Hinch, his manager. And it made the most sense. They need a third baseman. They needed offense.
They need veteran shit.
They needed everything, and that's probably what they've just somebody that's been there and won, and I think that's what they need. And that's why I'll steal that one.
Okay,
I don't have
So Keef now can pick one of the remaining
I was
3
just about to
boxes.
say, guys, I don't.
Rich, you've screwed everything else up so far. So you need someone
Because
to
the
save
wild
the
card,
ship.
man. Because the wild card. Keith, which one of these gifts do you want? Come on, let's go.
Let me get number 4, Rich.
It's the one I
Is he
stabbed.
allowed to do that?
I hope to God it's
Yeah,
Tim
that's
Anderson.
how this works.
No, that's never mind.
He got his gift stolen. So
He can't steal no more.
Or he could.
No, it's his
He
own
can't steal-
gift, guys. It's his own gift. That's why
He
I'm
can't
asking.
steal twice.
Well, then
He can't steal twice.
At this,
If I get the
At
other
this
Once
wild
you get it,
card.
that's it.
Well, if I get the other wild card, then
If you get the
At
other
this
wild
point-
card, then yes.
yeah. Poor Rich.
Keith,
I bet she's gonna get the other wild card.
Ciarra, your 49ers are getting embarrassed by the Lions. They're putting hook and ladder.
Joe, we
Chill.
don't have a team.
Perfect for the New York Mets. Hi, LA, and he's 50.
Dick
Dick
Mountain.
Love it.
My guy, Dick Mountain, baby. Yes. Dick
I love
Mountain's in
it.
the building, ladies and gentlemen.
I love it.
Dick Mountain.
Where do you want Dick Mountain to go?
Dick Mountain
Oh.
will sign league minimum
That's a spicy
post
question.
July
July.
in Pittsburgh.
You ain't getting a card until the summer. All right, Pittsburgh.
What's league minimum for a 45-year-old?
Yeah, how much are we talking here?
Like 700,
Like 900K, right?
Enough
Nah,
to pay
vet-
the Toyota Wrangler or some shit like
You
that.
can't pay him at 800K. The guy's 53 years old.
Hey, what do you got
Give him
against
a
old
bill.
people?
Love this man. This
What-
man
what do you
has
gotta
the
get
greatest
both
rubber
red?
arm. Greatest rubber arm of the modern day. Greatest rubber arm of the modern day. Gotta love it.
Okay.
Oh my god.
League
This is
minimum.
Boogie's fault, by the way. This is all Boogie's fault. So don't blame
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
This is Boogie's
And
fault.
thank you for gifting yourself. Really appreciate it. Okay, so we have 2 left. We do know Tim Anderson is one of the 2 great gifts. So it's up to you, Top Bunk. Do you want to select either Tim Anderson or whoever else in the other box? Or do you want to steal one of the gifts you see?
Because of the confusions with the steals, I'm gonna just go a separate route and take a Tim Anderson possibly. I'm gonna go with number 5. I'm gonna go with the David Wright.
Go with number
I
5.
I hope that's fucking Tim Anderson. I'm gonna lose my shit.
I'm gonna tell
You
you.
leave me fucking Tim Anderson. And
I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you it's not Tim
I
Anderson.
bet you it is Tim Anderson. Watch.
Yeah, I bet you it's not.
I love that he wrapped up like names in boxes. This was amazing.
Yeah.
This guy's legit.
Oh, he has the wild card.
Oh,
I hope
Wild
it's Tim
card.
Anderson, though.
So I'm going to tell you
Almost.
right now who it is, and courtesy of Tom, it's Anthony Santander.
nice.
So,
Tim Anderson
You
to
can
the
keep
Bronx.
Anthony Santander, give him a prediction, or you can steal somebody else's. So what
I'm
do you
gonna
want to
stick
do?
with him.
There's shit everywhere, by the way.
I'm gonna stick with Santander. I think he gets a 3-year deal, and I'm gonna go 3 years, 25.
That's a very cheap deal.
With what team?
Wait. You mean 25 each year? So 75. That's
Oh, okay.
Yes. Sorry, my math is a little.
3 years, 75. What
I
team?
think he honestly, to be honest with you, I think he comes to the Mets.
Oh shit.
Okay.
So you're gonna have two outfielders that can't catch fly balls.
God,
I love it.
God.
All right. So Kev,
Oh,
it's
Rich,
up
I
to
hate
you.
this, and you put him as number 2 as Derek Jeter's number. Why?
Kev, it's up to you. It's either. And thanks, Ciarra.
I got one,
Thanks,
Kev.
Ciarra, for that one.
Wait.
So
Can't you just steal
you
it?
Can, hold on, Joe. I got the
Boogie,
damn
thank you for
Kev,
telling me who brought that in there.
You're the last one. So either you can keep Tim Anderson, give him a prediction, or you can steal one of the other predictions out there. What do you want to
Yankees need a second baseman, bro.
Because my son loves baseball cards, I have to take the one that makes the most sense, right? And I'm gonna take Joe's Pete Alonso pick.
Oh.
And I'm gonna see and I'm gonna take that.
Oh,
I love that I get to
Or Joe
ruin
get
someone's
Alonso,
day.
Or Joe.
Joe.
Yeah, I
Joe
was about to
gets
take
Tim
yours, but I want the baseball
Anderson.
cards.
Mine's good.
Joe.
I don't know what you're talking about, Kev.
Yours is horrible.
So Joe, let me ask you. Tim
When
Anderson,
I win, I'll
what's-
share with your
what's the
son.
contract. Oh no, the contract figure hasn't been decided. So you pick it. Go ahead.
Joe picks Tim
So-
Anderson's
so here's
contract.
the
But
thing.
Joe should be able to steal now.
Am I allowed to steal or no? I'm stuck with the gift.
No, you can
Well,
steal.
I mean, we're not
You're
supposed to know
stuck,
who
brother.
the
You're
last
stuck with
pick
Tim
is.
Anderson.
Stuck with the gift, which is fine because I'm going to win anyway because I'm going to price is right. This son of a bitch, Tim
wait,
Anderson
wait.
for $0. He's playing in the fucking Mexican League.
Hold on.
next
The
year.
math isn't mathing for Rich right now.
Okay, so Joe, that's actually Tom is right. You can steal from either Corey or Ciarra still, or you can keep the Tim Anderson prediction.
He can steal from anyone.
Yeah,
No.
because he's last,
He
right?
can't steal me.
Yeah, he can.
No,
Oh,
he
he
can't-
can't
he can
steal from
only steal
you,
the-
but
No.
he got his gift stolen. He can steal from anyone.
Tom, Jesus Christ, Joe, you're getting Tim Anderson. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy
Listen,
Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus.
Guys, this
I'm
is what
gonna
you
price
gotta
it
get
right.
Rich in charge, man.
Tim Anderson is going to
Oh.
be playing in the Mexican League
Just
for
make sure.
$0.00.
Make sure, because if he signs for the KBO, he loses.
Well, correct. Tim Anderson will not sign with
No, you can't. You picked Mexico already. That's it.
Tim Anderson's gonna go to Detroit.
Hey,
all right.
I'm ending up with Tim Anderson. I get a
They need a
blanket.
shortstop.
Will not be in a major league organization next year.
Jesus Christ. All righty, so let's wrap this thing up. All right, what we got here? Tanner Scott going to Ciarra for 4 years, $64 million to the Brewers. We're locking that in. Corey Favs has former Met great Justin Verlander going 1 year, $15 million to the Orioles. So Justin Verlander to the Orioles. Joe with the best prediction of the night, of course, Tim Anderson. Going to the Mexican League, $0.00. We got Tom, who's got Ha-Sung Kim, who he sat on for like 10 minutes before he had a prediction. Ha-Sung Kim for 4 years, $65 million going to the Giants. Keef with his own freaking gift. He's got Dick Mountain on a post-July signing back to the Pittsburgh Pirates for like the 5th time in his career. So shout out to Keef for that.
Gotta pay the bills, bro. Gotta pay the bills.
Boogie, you got Alex Bregman going to the Detroit Tigers, 7 years, $190 million. So Alex Bregman, the Boris client, going to Detroit, who he's linked to as of recent reports. David, you got Anthony Santander, 3 years, $75 million to the New York Metropolitans. So Anthony Santander for David. And then finally, we have Kev with the steal of the century, Pete Alonso, which is Joe's former prediction. Pete Alonso, where was that? Pete Alonso, 5 years, $125 million. We'll make more sense of this on social media,
So
and we'll make more sense of this game.
does this get determined after? This gets determined after July. I'm assuming, right?
Wow. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because Rich Hill,
No,
he's right.
Rich Hill has. I said post July signing. Rich Hill.
But what if my signing
That's
is
way too
fresh
long.
right away?
Nah, man. The longer the better. Dick Mountain, man. Come on.
Who did you have him
Sign
going to?
on the dot. Kevin's gonna win because Pete.
Yeah.
It's actually 5 years, 125. That's a.
I think
But
that's exactly.
Pete's not going to be signed by opening day because he's being crazy
Uh-oh.
right now.
Uh-oh. I think
I'm a
that's
big
all.
meat.
loyal.
I'm a big Meat Pete fan, but he's acting
Oh.
crazy right now.
Oh,
I think the Verlander one is could happen.
It's
no?
good too, but I would have thought with Houston though, Verlander.
You guys are
I
sleeping
would've
on
said
Tanner
Detroit.
Scott
Yeah,
But why do you have Tanner
Brewers
Scott
aren't
going
paying
to
that much
Milwaukee
money. I'll tell you
though?
that much.
I
because
can-
they need a closer.
I think Tanner
That's-
Scott's going to the Dodgers.
oh my
Probably.
god,
They don't need more pitching, Keith. What are we doing?
Don't
you
tell
can
them
never have
that.
too much pitching.
Don't tell them that. I think the number's right. I just
How-
Milwaukee. I don't know.
How
So,
much?
Milwaukee's spending
question-
that much money
question,
on a
Rich.
pitcher, our
What
reliever.
if one of us gets the numbers right, but the team wrong, and nobody else has anything else right?
So
Which
Which
it-
hasn't
it's
thought of
gonna-
any of this, so who knows?
Closest shut up, Tom. Closest prediction wins. Closest prediction wins. So even if the closest prediction, let's say all 7 of you guys are all 7 of you are off and one has a team right, that's gonna get the winning prize at the end of the day. I'm not thinking any of these
There's 3
predictions
of us,
are going to be accurate to the T. It's the
There's
closest
7.
prediction.
Pete Alonso will.
I want to
Nah.
multiply for mine. I had the hardest prediction.
Pete is not coming back, guys. He's not coming back.
Pete is coming back. I talked to his
The
cousin.
Mets want him back. Pete's not coming back.
Pete's
All
gonna be
right,
a
well,
cubby.
I talked to his
Rich
cousin.
Hill will pitch this year, though.
Oh my god.
ESPN's gonna owe
Staten
me
Island
baseball
Cardinals.
cards. I'm just saying.
I should have had Noah Syndergaard in one of the gifts.
I gave the best present, so you're welcome.
My original present was Gleyber Torres. Rich can confirm that.
I know.
That is correct. That is correct.
That's hilarious.
All right,
Why'd
folks,
you bring Tim
that
Hill?
was a lot. That was a mess.
Poor Rich.
I need to read into the rules of White Elephant once again, I guess, but we'll clean this up for 2025. But this was a lot of fun.
We have a whole
And
year,
I wanna
Rich.
thank you-
I'll host it next year.
I want to thank. No, you're fired. I want to thank
Rich,
the
you can't
esteemed
fire,
panel
Rich can't hire.
for joining us here on Empire State of Baseball, episode 112, the 2024 year-end spectacular. And before we close out, just real quick on our socials, make sure to give us a follow on Instagram at Empire State of Baseball and X at ESB Podcast, and make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, Empire State of Baseball. All right, folks, make sure to join us for another edition of Extra Innings following tonight's episode, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, hosted by Ciarra, hosted by Joe, hosted by I. We'll go through the craziness of the White Elephant once again, and make sure to post the White Elephant, Empire Elephant on social media. So make sure to stay tuned with us while we'll post everybody's results, and we'll make sure to be updating you as we go along and we get closer to the Dick Mountain prediction in July. All right, so that will do it for Empire State of Baseball. We always do our last licks. And by the way, episode 113 is our next episode. We'll see you on January 20th, a Monday, for our Hall of Fame special. But we'll go around the room for our last licks. We'll go Brady Bunch order here. Corey Favs, you're in the top left. We'll go clockwise. Final words, last licks. Go ahead. Let's end this thing.
Listen, let's go Mets. I want another signing this week. That's all I got to say.
There you go.
Yes,
Dave,
I agree with
Top
that.
Bunk. Thanks for joining us, bud.
Man, appreciate you guys having me. This is dope. We support the page at Empire State Baseball, and yeah, man, I want another signing. Let's go Mets. Let's keep adding to the list, man. Let's keep adding to the list. I want to take down the Dodgers. I want to see the Dodgers in the number, man.
Love to hear it.
Hard time.
Our very own Ciarra. Ciarra, wrap this up.
Yeah, so rooting both Kevin and Joe's night at the very end with Tim Anderson, that made this whole thing for me. So thanks for that.
There you go.
I'm gonna win,
Boogie over
so
at
you didn't ruin
YankeesPod.
mine.
Boog, thanks for joining us. Last licks.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. It was a blast. Shout out to my two son-in-laws, both of them watched tonight, and my granddaughter and one of my daughters. It was they were making me laugh. They called Tom, one of my son-in-law, and Kevin out in Montana, sent me a text that Tom looks like a professional poker player who doesn't win with the sunglasses. I was laughing pretty good when I saw that.
He
All
kept
he
the
was
straight
with,
face
all
when
he
you
was
said
with.
that too.
That's a good
Tom told me to
one.
kick
Tom
rocks.
definitely has a poker
That's
face.
good. That's a very good one. That was good.
But yeah, that made me laugh. Shout out to them. But yeah, no, thanks again. It's been, like I said, it's been a great 2024 meeting all of you, and look forward to spending 2025 chatting with all of you.
Awesome. Thank you, Bug. Make sure to give YankeesPod a
Very
follow.
kind.
Kev, let's go. Last licks, bud.
Yeah, Ciarra says it made her night to see me get pissed, but it made my night to take that Pete Alonso pick from Joe. So so everybody seems to be happy. I do want to shout out to the ESB community for having me on again. I'll definitely do this whenever you guys have a shot. You guys got a great thing going here. Shout out to everybody, NYYU, everybody on Twitter. Shout out to everybody. And also, there is a pitcher still available with a 2.25 ERA and a 2.09 ERA plus, and his name is IKF. Stearns, go get him.
Relaxed.
He's the
Go,
goat.
Relax.
Kev.
Relax.
Shout out to Kev and NYYU. Make sure to give him a follow and subscribe. Tom, what do you got for us?
Look, listen, I win so much that I get tired of it.
This guy,
So I can't wait to win
Fucking funny.
those cards and donate them to the less fortunate.
Now hiring Yankee co-host for Empire State of Baseball.
I like this guy a lot, man.
Keith, last licks, bud.
Easily Tom, my favorite new Empire State of Baseball member. No offense, Rich. That was great, guys. Thank you for the invitation. Appreciate it. Love the year that we had with all the content creators we've met. Everyone keep growing. The community of baseball fans needs to continue to grow, of all different backgrounds. Love you all. Stay tuned, Shea and Sons, January 12th. Can't say anymore.
Shea and Sons, give him a follow and everything. Joe, let's go. What do we got?
You saved the best for last. I
Tim
got
Anderson,
some
yeah.
people
He is
who's
right.
acting like the white Stevie Wonder down there. I got the best pick. Tim Anderson's gonna be playing in the Mexican League by the end of the year, so I get to keep these bad boys. But thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for playing the
I
game.
was talking about giving to the less fortunate.
I got these, and they're probably gonna stay with me. I appreciate it, guys.
I will say this before you go, Rich, that if I do win the gift, the baseball cards, one I'll give to Keef and one I'll give to my buddy Douche that tuned in. Card collectors. I'm not. Actually, I have one.
All right.
I have
Gift that
two
keeps
baseball
on
cards.
giving.
2 baseball cards and one is signed by Babe Ruth.
No, one. They're both. Believe it or not, UL Washington. The guy played with a toothpick in his mouth.
Oh my God.
Was that in 1947?
No, 1983, 84, 80, 77, 78, somewhere there.
Officially the longest rap in the history of Empire State of Baseball. I got to learn the true meaning. You're not even holding up right. I got to learn the true meaning of the wild card in 2025. But we'll see you guys there, January 20, 2025. Happy holidays. Have a happy new year. And thank you, everybody, once again, for joining us for the final episode of 2024 for Empire State of Baseball. Take care.